I mean, overthinking almost cost me 6 figures. Actually, probably even way more than that, right? What about you? What is the cost of your overthinking doing to you, right? Where every day you know what you're doing, you're just like me, right? You're planning, you're watching, you're pre-planning, you're learning. Sometimes you might buy the stuff, sometimes you might not buy the stuff. You just kind of just watch everybody, you try to piece it all together, you try to figure it all out. And I don't even understand that anymore. Like there were some people that were like kind of wondering like, oh, Justin, I don't know if I should get your coaching. And I'm like, okay, cool, no big deal. My coaching app, right? Well, okay, no big deal. Here's my thing though. How is your plan right now working out for you though? When is it going to get better? You know, some of the people that I've been seeing right now, like they're like these like young kids, right? And they're killing it, right? They're killing it. And sometimes I sit there and I'm like, I get a little jealous, right? And what I mean by that is just because I'm like, man, wish I was doing that in my 20s, right? In my 20s, I was screwing up, man, going to jail and all that stuff. But anyways, long story short, man, proud of them for what they're doing. But all of them are saying the same thing. They saw somebody winning and they said, what do I need to do to get around that person to learn what I need to learn so I can start applying it? And I don't know if it's because we get a little bit older, we get a little bit tainted, we get a little bit stuck in our ways, but that was me too, right? Letting the ego always win, overthinking every situation. And then you start to try to study. And you know what happens when you try to study? Like if you're not studying like a little bit, or at least going back to your videos, that's one thing. But if you're just trying to watch everybody else, next thing you know, you start watching tons of people and they all have their own way of doing things, right? And it's like you really got to narrow down the main teachings, which is the foundation of telling your story, sharing your experience, showing up every day, right? Picking 1 or 2 platforms and staying focused, picking 1 or 2 business models and staying focused, right? And I say 1 to 2 because I really don't even want you to stretch it out to 2, but a lot of people think that's what they need. But it's amazing to me because I'm like, you got a 9 to 5, you got kids, you got a life, and you got a side income, and you're trying to run another business as well. Like, come on, man. At the end of the day, at some point, you're not going to be able to do it unless you are outsourcing, which a lot of people don't have enough money to outsource, right? Or delegate, I should say, right? They don't have enough money to do that. If they had enough, like you ever come across those Gary Vaynerchuks and the Grant Cardones, and they're like, be everywhere, be omnipresent, be on all the platforms. Well, they got teams behind them. You can't do that. And sometimes they're speaking to other business owners who know that they can run another program and or who can run their social media accounts. And you know what I mean, where they could make a little bit of content, or they could spend a few hours making content, dish that to that media team, and then they can dish it out everywhere else, right? But a lot of us, most likely if you're watching this video, we already know you're like one of these side hustle people. You're a one-man show, right? Maybe you do have a small little group with you, but that's it, right? And all you guys probably still got jobs or whatever it is. You don't have time to do all the crazy things that you think everybody else is telling you. And that's the problem. I was overthinking every situation. And one of the best things that you can do is, you've heard this before, but for real, take imperfect action. And a lot of time, it's not even about taking the action, it's letting go of this fear of failure, right? Letting go that you're going to bomb, because at the end of the day, failure is a part of success. And that's what pisses me off. We always say those things. Like we say, where focus goes, energy flows. Failure is a part of success. But when we don't follow through with it, if you know that failure is a part of success, why aren't you racing to fail more and more and more and more and more? Why are you afraid to take the action then? Why wouldn't you just be like, yo, failure is a part of that success, so I'm going to go out there, and if I do fail, it's okay, I'm getting closer to success. If I win, great, then I won, right? But we don't look at it like that. We just quote the good quotes. We talk a good game, right? Or how about this one? I was notorious for this too. I could tell everybody else how to live and what they should be doing with their business, but I couldn't always apply it to me. And in fact, you know, if Nick ever watches one of these videos, I don't know if he watches my YouTube channel anymore, but shout out to Nick. He told me one time, he was like, Justin, you know how good you are, right? And that kind of hit me, right? Because I was looking at a whole bunch of other things as to why I wasn't good, right? And I got to focusing on that as to why I wasn't that good, and that I couldn't really believe in myself. And if I would have just shifted my focus and my perspective and then showed up every day no matter what, it's no telling where I would have been at, right? So there's a few things that I said in this video, but I want it to hit home. Okay. So number one, stop overthinking, right? Stop overthinking. It's time to take imperfect action and let it go. Number two, don't overthink with some of the costs, with some of the things that you're going to have to do, because they are all at your advantage. Even if you were to fail, failure is a part of success, so you are going to learn from it. The only time you really fail, they're going to say, is when you give up, but I don't even think it's when you give up. It's well, maybe as when you give up, because I was going to say it's when you don't really learn from your mistakes. But I think sometimes we have to make a few mistakes before we actually fully learn. So, I went ahead and just kind of, took that one back, right? Because, man, there was many mistakes that I made, but every failure led me got me closer and closer and closer to the fact that I knew I could get this down. And that was the other thing, is start to really believe in yourself. Start to fully believe in yourself, because think about the cost that you overthinking right now is costing you. I mean, so many people, all right, like this is what trips me out, right? So many people, they always compare themselves to other people that are making money online, right? But then they'll turn around, so what they'll do is they know they have a process that they need to follow, right? Like meaning, all right, I'm going to give you an example, all right? Let's say it's like TikTok, right? There's only about 4 activities or action steps that you can do on TikTok to move the needle of your business, right? So we know that we can either post in stories, go live, or engage. That's it. There's almost no action step that you can do. You can do 1,000 things on TikTok, but those are the only 4 actions that you can do to move the needle of your business, no matter what business you're in on TikTok, right? Okay. The funny thing is these people will start to feel bad, not do these things, scroll, or what they say, doom scroll, find someone that is winning, compare their life, feel down that they're not winning too. But then it's like, and then they talk themselves out of doing these 4 things because now they're down. And I had a coaching person today that I was talking to, and I said, well, what's the fastest way? What is the fastest way to not get what you want? And they looked at me and they were like, I don't know, compare. And I was like, well, yeah, but the fastest way to not get what you really want is to not do these things, right? That's the fastest way. We all know this. These are the 4 things that I got to do to move the needle of my business. If I don't do these 4 things, then I'm not moving the needle of my business. So therefore, the fastest way to not get what you want is to not do these things. Now, there was a lady one time, right, where I said, look at the energy that you're putting behind your post. And she said, okay, so you're telling me on those days that I feel down and I'm out of alignment that I shouldn't post? I was like, well, I wouldn't necessarily say that, but why wouldn't you try to fix your state of being and get aligned so that you could put more emphasis in that post? That's all I'm trying to get at, right? But at the end of the day, yeah, a post is better than nothing at all, right? Because how can I sit there and say I don't have a sell when I haven't been doing the things that I need to be doing each and every day? If I were doing these every single day, day in and day out, and I still don't have a sell, then we just need to tweak these and tweak the mindset. That's it. That's really all it is. Because most people won't do the 4 things. They talk themselves out of doing the 4 things, which is funny to me, because if you logically think it, that's the fastest way to not get ahead, right? So that's what overthinking can do to you. That's what overthinking will do, is it'll stunt your growth. It'll have you not taking any action. And you have to look at the cost of all this. Because for me, it cost me, all right, so it would have cost me 6 figures. Most likely it's probably cost me millions of dollars. I mean, because if I think about either, what I've been doing, if I would have just stayed focused, right? If I would have not overthought everything, if not overthought every action and everything, I probably would be a millionaire. Because I was that guy that either overthought everything and didn't take any action, or started to go down the right path. But I was like that person that was driving down a highway, right? And you know what they say? They said, if you're driving down a highway and you start to look to the left, right, what happens? You naturally start to pull the wheel, right? Because you want to pull the wheel where you're looking, naturally, right? Well, I was that guy. I'm driving straight. I'm doing the process. I'm going the right direction. But then I look over here and I start looking at everybody else and I'm like, I wonder what they're doing. And then there you go. And I just took a major detour, and I've been taking major detours from overthinking and not staying in line and not taking action, right? So anyways, that's all I want to leave with you is, what is it costing you? Don't let overthinking hold you back.